We're going to go over the rope rescue equipment that's on our aerial ladder. It's not much, it's not as robust as our heavy rescue, but being a company that has the heavy rescue and a ladder truck, we don't need a whole lot. The gear that we chose was chosen to be able to take advantage of the actual aerial itself, because it's an underutilized tool that will be a shame if we just don't consider using it for rope rescues. So the rope diameter, it's still 11 millimeter or 7/16 inch, just as it is on the heavy. We only carry 2 ropes, 2 300 footers, and the reason why we carry just 2 of those is to be able to do not only your standard, very basic, like operations level tasks, like a low angle, just standard, like up, down, but also a 2 rope system through a high point on the aerial, or single main, single blade, 2-tension rope system with, or if you're belaying off of a building and then using the high point as a change of direction. Our litter basket doesn't need to be as multifunctional, so we chose to just use a standard 4-point manufactured bridle with integrated carabiners that nobody can come in and like inadvertently take this and put it somewhere else. So we want to keep things together so that things don't get lost and people don't cannibalize our equipment. So your standard 4-point bridle, that's all you really need. Standard rigging, standard lashing, and a basic harness to secure them in. The aerial high point is this. We can clip directly in here, or we can prusik around the bar. One rescuer harness, I think this is a size medium. This is just for a rescuer who's gonna be suspended on the rope. It's better to have the gear available, the option there, if you have technician level people that can be on the rope and do those rescues, as opposed to not having it at all. So just one, and it's a medium, and the thought is we don't want our biggest people on the line. And even if our biggest people happen to be the tech, they can squeeze into a medium. It's better to have a tight fitting harness than be swimming in it. And then our one patient victim subject pick-off harness for those that are uninjured or stranded or slightly injured, moderately. Very similar to what we carry on our heavy rescue. And these are the Rock-O oval wire eyes. So they can come out, but the intent was to discourage people from actually disconnecting things. You can disconnect it, but we hope that you don't, because we want this stuff to be together at all times, and when it's time to package everything back at the end of a rescue or a training, we want these to stay together. So we have 4 total Rock-O wire eyes. The chest component to the seat harness has a prusik that you can attach to the long tail of a long tail bowline as a backup, as well as our Purcell where the rescuer can adjust as they're picking somebody off. This is optional. You can use it or not, but it should live with the seat harness. So 4 identical carabiners with not even permanent, but it's an indicator that says that this shouldn't come off these pieces if you can help it. We have a spec pack. I'm not going to open this, but it's a full spec pack with its own bridle system that we can cradle a patient with. This is more for if we're using the aerial as a high point to lift somebody out of a manhole or like a trench rescue. So that's why we have the spec pack. So as far as patient packaging, rigid litter and a spec pack. And then as far as pickoffs and putting rescuers on the line for those technician level skills, it's just a full body harness and 1 patient harness system. If we want to be equipped, and hopefully we'll get a different bag in the future, but for now it is what it is. This just represents a snapshot in time today, but things could change. We want an Aztec in our kit. This is mainly for if we're putting a rescuer on the line. Ideally, the set of 4s would be their primary connection, and our set of 4s have pre-rig carabiners. These are the Twistlock Camp Atlas 40 kilonewtons. They live with this particular Aztec. And also everything that the rescuer needs to create a backup, as in a prusik on a long tail of a long tail bowline with its own carabiner. So really, the rescuer just needs his harness and this Aztec. It's everything that he needs to secure himself into the system. As far as anchoring goes, we really only need to be concerned with anchoring to structural components of the aerial, the truck itself, the outriggers, or if we're doing a directional to another vehicle, or if we're actually parked nearby other structural elements that really we're wrapping anchors around structural components. So we don't need a whole lot. We have 6 total pieces of 1-inch tubular webbing, 2 reds, we have 2 oranges, and we have 2 blues. So 6 total pieces of 1-inch tubular webbing. We also have 4 anchor straps. It's a little bit messy, but 4 fixed length anchor straps that we can wrap around outriggers, and 6 1-inch tubular webbing. This should take care of all our anchoring needs. And then 2 basic 8mm prusiks, anchoring options, as well as rope grabs if we want to use them for rope grabs on like a haul system. So very basic, very simplistic, very minimalistic. So if we look kind of how we laid our hardware out, we prepackaged by function or system. So we have 2 MPDs, and with the MPD bag itself, we already have what we're gonna anchor to as the carabiner, and then going to a rigging plate with another carabiner. This is what we attach the MPD to. And then if we're doing haul systems, this is inevitably we're gonna have a change of direction, like a simple mechanical advantage with a change of direction, or we can add more mechanical advantage. So the extent of our mechanical advantage options are probably most likely gonna be just 3-to-1s, 3-to-1 changes of direction, or 5-to-1. And we have 2 of them. So like the packed, stored kit, like just visualize that. That's the MPD comes off this, and then that's at the anchor. The MPD clips into here with the rope, and then everything else goes from there. We have 2 of those for a 2-tension rope system or a single main, single belay. You can operate each device as a belay or together in a 2-tension system. We also have ASAPs that we can put on the beckets, or we can actually do a dedicated belay with the ASAPs if we need to. So we have 2 MPDs, 2 ASAPs with the corresponding pre-attached connections with rigging plates for those 2 systems, plus 2 preset haul cams, mechanical rope grabs, Petzl rescue senders with pulleys. So this is for your initial 3-to-1 Z-rig hauls. And then we have 6 total pulleys with carabiners for the changes of direction and the high points on our aerial. So we did the math, we counted it all out. 6 is really, you don't need any more than 6 in a worst case scenario. And if we want to do conversions from 3-to-1s to 5-to-1s, that's where the double sheet pulleys come in. So when we look at this, we have 14 of the big Pro Series screw lock carabiners, so 14 of those. As far as single sheet pulleys, we have 6 here on their own carabiners, and then 2 attached to 2 rescue senders. So 2 rescue senders, 8 single sheet pulleys, 14 Pro Series screw lock carabiners, 2 double sheet pulleys, 2 ASAPs, 2 MPDs, 2 rigging plates, 2 prusiks, 4 anchor straps, and 6 pieces of tubular webbing. And that's all of our rigging gear that we possibly would need for an assortment of rigging tasks and rescue operations on the aerial.